Dean Martin, forever the king of cool, was more than a voice or a smile. He was a living symbol of Hollywood's golden age, embodying effortless style, charisma, and charm. Millions adored him not just for his performances, but for the way he carried himself. A man who seemed untouchable, almost above life's struggles. His songs radiated joy, and his laughter suggested a world where happiness could last forever. Yet, behind the velvet tones and easy humor lay a man shaped by hardship, heartbreak, and tragedy, whose private life revealed struggles unknown to the public. Early life in Ohio. Born Dino Paul Crocetti in 1917 in Steubenville, Ohio, Dean Martin grew up in a world far removed from glamour. His parents, Italian immigrants, carried little but hope and their native language to a new land. At school, Dino's thick accent and foreign background made him a target for ridicule. Mockery and exclusion shaped him early, teaching him to use humor as a shield. Music became his secret refuge, a place where he could escape pain. By 16, he had left school to work in steel mills and boxing rings, where life's challenges forged the resilience that would define him. Discovering charm and talent. Dean's early jobs exposed him to people in ways school never could. Working as a blackjack dealer and in nightclubs, he observed human behavior, learning the subtle power of charm and timing. He realized a smile or a clever remark could disarm suspicion and captivate a crowd. Music remained his sanctuary, and by performing in small clubs as Dino Martini, he discovered his true gift, a voice that could enchant. Yet audiences were often indifferent, and prejudice stung. Changing his name to Dean Martin brought no immediate relief. The early years were filled with humiliation, a crucible that strengthened his determination to succeed. Partnership with Jerry Lewis. In 1945, destiny intervened when Dean met the 19-year-old comic Jerry Lewis at a small New York club. Their chemistry was immediate, unpredictable, and electric. What began as an accidental interruption by Jerry evolved into a legendary partnership. Martin and Lewis quickly dominated radio, television, and film, becoming America's favorite comedy duo. Yet, while audiences adored them, Dean quietly suffered. Critics often labeled Jerry the genius while dismissing Dean as merely handsome. Despite the fame and applause, he felt overshadowed, yearning for recognition. This tension would eventually lead him to make a bold decision, one that would redefine his career. Breaking away from the duo. By 1956, Dean chose to leave his partnership with Jerry Lewis, a move many predicted would end his career. In reality, it allowed him to claim his own space in entertainment. His acting in The Young Lions, 1958, proved he could hold his own alongside stars like Marlon Brando and Montgomery Clift. Around the same time, his song Everybody Loves Somebody rose to the top of the charts, surpassing even the Beatles. Dean's solo stardom was cemented, and he became a cultural icon. No longer just part of a duo, he proved his talent could command the spotlight on its own. Reigning as a Rat Pack legend, Dean Martin's fame extended to the legendary Rat Pack, alongside Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. Las Vegas became his stage, his playground, and his kingdom. On television, shows like The Dean Martin Show and his celebrity roasts solidified his image as the charming, carefree entertainer. Publicly, he was always the affable, relaxed figure, often pictured with a drink in hand, though sometimes it was apple juice. Behind the scenes, Dean sought something far more precious than fame, a stable, loving family. Despite the laughter and applause, the private man longed for the ordinary joys that Hollywood could never guarantee. Personal life and heartbreak. Dean's marriages were marked by both love and difficulty. His first marriage to Betty McDonald ended in 1949, leaving him to raise their 4 children. Later, his marriage to Jean Beager brought stability and 3 more children, lasting nearly 25 years. Jean was his true partner, supporting him and sharing his dreams, especially of their beloved son, Dean Paul. Yet even strong unions succumbed to the pressures of fame, ending in divorce. A brief third marriage also failed. Despite his affection for his children, Dean carried the quiet weight of guilt and regret over his personal life, experiences he rarely shared publicly. Tragedy strikes. The loss of Dean Paul. Nothing could have prepared Dean for the devastating loss of his son, Captain Dean Paul Martin, in 1987. Dean Paul, talented and promising, died in a fighter jet crash over the San Bernardino Mountains. The tragedy shattered Dean Martin, leaving a grief that even his legendary cool could not mask. Friends and family reported that he never recovered fully, and Frank Sinatra admitted that the heartbreak had fundamentally changed him. Once effortless smiles and humor gave way to withdrawal, Dean retreated from the spotlight, spending time quietly with family, on golf courses or watching westerns, seeking solace in the simple rhythms of life he once took for granted. Later, years and declining health. By the early 1990s, Dean's health began to fail. Decades of smoking caught up with him, and doctors diagnosed him with lung cancer. Rather than pursue invasive treatments, he chose peace and acceptance over prolonging his life. In these years, he found profound solace in private moments with his children. His daughter Deana often sang his famous hits, including "Everybody Loves Somebody" as he held her hand. These intimate acts became his final performances, a quiet echo of the joy he once brought to millions, now shared in love and remembrance rather than applause. Final days and legacy. Dean Martin passed away on Christmas Day, 1995, at the age of 78, surrounded by family. Outside, the world celebrated, but inside his Beverly Hills home, silence marked the end of an era. Las Vegas dimmed its neon lights in tribute to the man who had given the city so much charm and magic. Dean Martin's life was one of contrasts. The entertainer who longed for ordinary love, the man who built charisma from hardship, the legend who endured heartbreak. His legacy persists in the songs, films, and memories he left behind, a timeless reminder of grace, humor, and humanity. Conclusion. The man behind the mask. Dean Martin's story is a testament to the complexity of fame, talent, and humanity. He was the suave performer who charmed millions, yet beneath the exterior lay a man shaped by struggle, tragedy, and enduring love. His voice remains timeless, echoing through generations, carrying the joy, sadness, and warmth of a life lived fully. In every note, every smile, and every whispered memory, Dean reminds us that even icons are human, that laughter can coexist with sorrow, and that, ultimately, everybody does love somebody sometime. His journey, from Steubenville to superstardom, remains unforgettable.